friends, and welcome to Ariel's Twilight Years, how to be a really old model. I'm not wearing any makeup today. I wanted to show you everything that goes into a day in my life at the moment. I had a couple of reasons for doing that. Firstly, COVID changed my working pattern completely, as I'm sure it did for many other people. And as a result, I've been working entirely from home and entirely on my own or just with my husband. I've been a touring model for 17 years, and all of that time I've been working with multiple other producers, and I've been away from home half the time. And I wanted to make a record for myself of this year to remind myself in the future of how much I enjoyed it. The other reason I want to make it is because I absolutely expected my income to diminish massively, and instead it's almost doubled, and I want to record that in order to hopefully help other models, maybe models who are newer to the industry than me, to reap some of the benefits. Because the thing that's changed for me is ownership of my own product. The reason I'm making more money is because I'm making passive income in a way that I really wasn't before. I was shooting some of my own content, but now I'm shooting my own content every day. I feel always really self-conscious making any of these kind of how-to videos because it feels as though I'm saying that I've got it all perfect. And I know I haven't, and I know that ideally what you'd be doing is watching 10 of these videos by 10 different people and learning from all of them. I need to do a shout out to two of the people I've learned some of this from. There's Catherine Manning, who's a much more successful YouTuber than me. She mostly does stuff about growing her YouTube channel, but she's very systematic. Also learned about being honest about finances from her because I found it immensely useful that she is so frank with her numbers. And the other person I've learned a lot from is Rob Dix, the property geek, links in the show notes, who talks a lot about systemizing your business. So when I started working from home, March 2020, I didn't really know what I was doing, and I had a couple of months that were very relaxing, and I just realised that by being home more to shoot a little bit more of my own product and to market it better, I was making the same amount of money. Then I realised I was making a little bit more money, and I started trying to be more productive in the day. Today, I'm just going to show you all the ways in which I've tried to tweak my working practices over the last year to fit more in, to be more productive, to waste less time, and to make more money eventually. So let's get started. First thing in the morning, I always set myself an alarm because I became quite frightened that I'd end up sleeping late and not getting anything done and not starting work until later in the day. So I always set an alarm, and the first thing I do after breakfast is I do all my makeup. So that's what I'm going to do now. I shoot for OnlyFans, but I have a mirror site for people who've been kicked off OnlyFans or who can't join OnlyFans because there are many problems with that. So I also upload everything onto ManyVids Crush. ManyVids Crush does not allow you to schedule. So the first thing I do every morning as I'm having breakfast is put up whatever video is going up on my OnlyFans today. I put one of them up on ManyVids as well, so that not only will my OnlyFans members have something to watch over breakfast, but so will my ManyVids Crush. And I am working quite hard now, so I've tried to find opportunities to do things that I like at the same time as working. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to watch a Louis Theroux documentary while I do my makeup, and I really enjoy starting the day by watching someone else's creative product instead of worrying about my own. This does just look like I'm crayoning my face, and I am.
Pen Blythe!
Yeah, it's your first! I am ready to shoot my first scene. I shoot for 3 different platforms at the moment. OnlyFans content, which is short video diaries, dance routines, stuff like that. And because they're short, I fit them in around my bigger projects. The main thing that takes up my time at the moment is shooting custom videos. So I try to shoot 2 or 3 custom videos a day. So this is going to be my first one. This is actually a really simple one. It's 5 minutes, upskirt, video in white knickers. Normally, the night before, I set up all my costume selections for the next day because I found that it makes me feel like I've been my own best friend. When I wake up in the morning and my costume is already laid out, it's kind of like having servants, even though I was the servant, because I don't have to spend any time searching through drawers and wardrobes to get my costume together. I always write notes for myself on the whiteboard the night before, so I've just been going through checking those. He has referenced a video that I shot for a different producer a few years ago, and he wants it to be like that. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to quickly watch that video, because of course if it's something that I shot for someone else and several years ago, I won't remember it at all. Okay, so I'm ready to get dressed. This is my first outfit set up. I've just got my ring light on. I've got my prompt board down here, although actually this is such a simple one, I probably don't need that really. I'm going to be shooting on my bed. This is one of the things I've discovered. In order to be efficient, I don't ever get changed, because that takes a while, without filming it. I always film myself getting into any outfit that I think is going to be fun and sexy to get into. I film that on my phone for my OnlyFans, because that means as the day progresses, I'll get OnlyFans content in different outfits. Now, I won't be just getting changed, I'll be answering member questions or talking about what I'm about to shoot and how I feel about it. I'm just going to set up my phone. We are recording for OnlyFans and YouTube at the same time, and I think I'm probably going to get quite confused by this. Oh God. Anyway, thank you friends, hello. Right, so I'm going to put my OnlyFans friends down here so they can see me getting changed. You're going to be up here so you can see me getting ready, and obviously I can't show you, YouTube, any nudity, so if you want to see the nude version, you should join my OnlyFans. And that's one way to make more money, is by being relentlessly commercial and selling every single thing that you do in the day. That is Ariel Anderson's advice to you. We're back on YouTube, hello. So now I'm in my first outfit. That's made me a 4-minute OnlyFans video, and obviously it's not going to be the most exciting content unless you happen to particularly like the kind of outfit I'm wearing. So I wouldn't want that to be the only kind of video I made for OnlyFans by any means. But I figure if 1 in 4 of my videos is that, then hopefully the people who like stockings and high heels, for example, will get a fix of that. So the next thing I have to do is do my hair, because I just realised I haven't done it yet. And then I'm going to get started on my custom. I'm doing an auto colour correct on my phone so that all my OnlyFans footage looks nice. Just going to colour correct while I'm shooting my main video. So that's my first custom video of the day done, and that's my first OnlyFans video of the day done as well. So I'm trying to get 3 custom videos and 4 OnlyFans updates. As soon as I've shot my first piece of content, I take it off the card immediately, because I'm really scared of the card failing, and I don't want to get to the end of my morning's shooting and lose 3 videos potentially. So I was shooting content for 3 years before I realised that I shouldn't be putting stuff up as soon as I shot it. So at first I would just, if I shot 4 videos in a day, I'd put them all up immediately, or maybe over 4 days. But then I realised actually for a lot of the platforms I'm selling on, it's much better if you're updating regularly on a regular schedule, so people can get to expect when they're going to see new work from you. So now my aim is to have new content going up every single day. So what I shoot today, and I'm shooting this on the 16th of April, this will go up for sale in June. And that feels really good to have a sort of insurance policy, because it means if I'm sick in June or no custom videos come in, I'll still have income coming in and I will have set it up already. If you've ever been poor, which I have, self-employment is scary, because however much money you're making, you always think, is this the last time I'm gonna have a good month? And so sort of planning ahead is a little bit like having money in the bank, I suppose, and I've always been a fan of having money in the bank. I've got my content off the memory card. I don't do anything very fancy to it at all. I'm just colour correcting it, because it often comes out of the camera looking a little bit kind of grey. So I like to adjust the exposure so it's brighter, bring down the blacks so that it doesn't look too bright. So basically make it higher contrast. And then I like to make everything really bright colours, so I increase my saturation and give myself a bit of a suntan.
That's just kind of emerged as the look I always try to go for. So now I'm just watching it through. I don't watch the whole thing because I'm not that interested in myself. So I just skip through it and make sure nothing weird happens to it. It all looks fine. The card is offloading, but what I can do, and this is one of my favourite parts of the job, is every week I have a target for my OnlyFans content and a target for how many longer videos like this, for clips for sale and many vids I shoot. And my target every week is I have to get 16 OnlyFans updates and I have to get at least 7 custom video type videos. When I've shot something, I can tick it off on my list. I find this is really comforting. So the other thing I do with my diary is I divide all the pages vertically and I put a tick on the left hand side for all the OnlyFans updates I've scheduled. So you can see if you look ahead into May, I've got my 2 updates a day on weekdays, 3 updates a day at weekends. So that's all ready to go, already scheduled. And then I also write the names of the feature films that are going up on Clips for Sale and Many Vids. So I put 2 of those up a day. And as you can see, they go all the way into June now. And I'm hoping that in the course of this year, because it's only April at the moment, I'm hoping I can end up a year ahead, which is a lot to ask of myself, but that's what I'm trying. I would like to have queued up a full year of content, which would mean theoretically I could take a year of work. I don't want to because I absolutely bloody love my job, but it feels like, wow, that would feel like a lot of security. And it means that if I take time off work, my income shouldn't be massively affected. For most of my career, I didn't have that, and a lot of self-employed people who sell their time by the hour would relate to that. You know, if you're a gardener and you take a week off gardening, you don't make any money. This passive income thing has been incredibly powerful for changing just how sort of safe I feel financially. I don't want a kind of champagne lifestyle or anything. What I want is security, and I think a lot of people who've not had money in their past, I guess that's just what we want. It's not like I want a expensive car or anything. I just want to provide for my future and for the future of the people I love. So that's what I do. I write all of this in my diary so I know on any given day what's going to be updating and what I can market. And then my other favourite thing to do, which makes me sound horrible, is I like putting what I just earned into my spending tracker app. So that's for my accountant, really. But it's also for me to keep a record of whether I'm earning a similar amount to last month, whether I'm earning more, or whether I'm earning less and need to work harder. I just find it very comforting to monitor what I'm doing and how well I'm doing and how efficient I'm being, because I'm always sort of scared of losing everything I've built up, everything I've worked for, by just not having enough self-discipline to keep it going. So a lot of the things I do during a working day or a working week, it's like being my own boss, like monitoring my employees' activity and making sure that they're working efficiently. So that probably sounds quite chilling and weird, but behaving like that has actually had an impact on my income, so I think it's probably a good thing in some ways. Although it might also be the way to have a mental breakdown, so I'm not saying this is definitely the right way to do things, it's just the way I currently do things. What I have to write down is where the customer comes from, whether he's EU or not, and then I see on the app, I see the graph of how my earnings and expenses are shaping up, and we're halfway through the month and I've made slightly more than half the amount of money I would have expected to make in this month, so I'm doing fine. So now it's time to shoot the next video. I need to get changed into my next outfit, I need to shoot my next OnlyFans update, and my next OnlyFans update is going to be a dance routine. I offer a same-day delivery service. So I give people, customers, a guaranteed shoot date, and then I promise to deliver the video on the same day. And so far, I've always managed to do that, and it makes me really happy. So I'm about to get dressed into another outfit, but while I do it, I'm going to do a Q&A. So my OnlyFans members send me questions in, and I answer them on screen while I get changed, or while I do whatever it is I'm doing. So this is a question about customs that I wish someone would order than they haven't. Hello friends! I'm going to answer one of your questions. So I'm going to put my phone down and I'm going to get dressed in an outfit I have never put on before while I answer your question. Your question is an excellent one. It's about whether I have any things I want to shoot that no one has booked as a custom yet. And the fact is, Yes, I do. So I'm just set up for the next custom. I'm in my outfit. And before I shoot the custom, which is an embarrassed naked female custom, so it's all about being made to take my clothes off and being really embarrassed about it, which I'm not, obviously, because I'm a nude model. But I really love it because it gives me a chance to be really melodramatic. But before I do that, so as not to waste the outfit, which is lovely and not what I've put together before, I'm just going to film myself dancing for my OnlyFans. But it's okay. After I shoot this next video, we're allowed a tea break.
Hello, I've come for my results. Oh? What's wrong with them? A D?
So an amazing aspect of my job this last year has been being able to take tea breaks when I want. Because I work with some photographers who are amazing and we have lots of tea breaks and we have a lovely time. But I work with photographers who don't take breaks at all as well. And having the power, after 17 years of working for other people, to really be my own boss and say, it's 11 o'clock, we're having a cup of tea. That is really nice. So I'm going to read off my card for my second custom of the day. I'm going to tick it off on my content list. So now I've done 12 videos this week, which is great because 14 videos is 2 weeks worth of updates. So getting almost 2 weeks worth in a week is brilliant because that's going to keep getting me ahead like I want to be. 25 OnlyFans updates and I only need 16 in a week. So again, that will insulate me in the future if I need to take a week or two off. I'm having quite an efficient day and quite an efficient week. So what I'm doing now is I'm just grabbing this video to import and then we can go downstairs. I wanted to talk about something that's really important that I have not been particularly fast to figure out. But because I'm talking about productivity and trying to get the most out of your day, maximize your income from your work, I know that it's really easy, for me at least, and so probably for other people too, to get quite competitive, not with other people, but with yourself. And that tends to drive me to try to keep earning more, keep working harder. And it's not because I need more money, it's because I'm trying to prove something to myself, I think. And that's probably quite a common thing. And so I would say I may be showing you some things you can do to be more productive if you're in a similar industry to mine, but I wouldn't feel responsible showing you that stuff without saying having some kindness towards yourself is really important too, not putting yourself under pressure to produce more in a day than you would have managed 6 months ago, and to keep building on that, because there's a limit to how much money you need and there's a limit to how much work you can do without starting to have an effect on your physical and mental health. So as we go through this day, you'll see hopefully some more of the things I do to make sure that my life stays quite balanced. And it's important for me to explain to you that I'm only doing this 5 days a week, but when I started modelling I was working 7-day weeks, and I really don't recommend it because it's very easy in this industry to think that everything's going to stop next year because you're going to be too old, no one's going to want you anymore. And the reality, for me at least, and for plenty of my friends and colleagues, is that's just not the case. So if I could go back and tell 26-year-old me anything, I would say take some time off. Don't work every day just because you're being offered the work. This tea break is sort of a metaphor for just looking after yourself and being kind, because I could shoot one more video if I didn't take a tea break and I could make a bit more money, but actually, in order to still be doing this next year without having had anything horrible happen to my body or my mind, the stuff like the tea breaks and the walks and the taking time to watch a YouTube video, those things are important, just like being efficient and working hard are important. I am very driven, and I've only really realised over the last year how self-motivated I am, because there's not been anyone else to motivate me. And I've recognised that although that's great, it makes you ambitious and it makes you hardworking, at least for me it comes from insecurity and remembering not having enough money and how scary it was and not wanting to go back there. Sometimes the things we do to ourselves aren't coming from the most emotionally healthy places, and sometimes my work ethic, which generally I'm quite proud of, I have to recognise it's not 100% coming from a good place. Watch out for that, friends! I feel as though I've finished all my work. I haven't. I've finished actually creating the content, but now everything else has to happen. And the rest of the day is going to be spent doing all the stuff associated with what I just shot. The next thing that has to happen is all the editing. So I'm going to edit my final video, then I'm going to upload them to Clips for Sale and ManyVids. While I do that, I'm also going to put my OnlyFans updates that I've shot. I'm going to schedule them in my diary. I'm going to schedule my Clips for Sale, ManyVids updates. I'm going to write the stories to go with the videos I shot. I'm going to put all the keywords in.
Naughty to a professor.
I really like my job. I always write a really short description on my OnlyFans videos that go up because they will cross-post on Twitter. So I try to write stuff that will make people who aren't members join out of curiosity. Try to put descriptions that ask a question that make people want to know is what I'm doing.
Don't be bored, Emma.
Yeah,
Will we be here?
Yeah, of course. Hello, friends.
Hello.
Hello, Penbloyd Happis.
Dio.
I've decorated your cake. It's in the fridge with sprinkles on. We'll have it for lunch, shall we? Now.
He wants to see it now, but you're busy, yeah. Come and call for
Okay.
that.
Okay.
It's just too exciting, isn't it?
I'm sort of, at the moment, I'm kind of explaining where my income comes from. It's sort of as though it comes from 4 sources and that they're all equal. So that's the money I get directly from shooting custom videos, which is sort of the thing that's replaced my shoots with other photographers while COVID's happening. And then there's the resale from Clips for Sale and from ManyVids. And then there's the money from OnlyFans. And now sometimes those 4 things are quite equal, but this year I've noticed that my ManyVids income is going up quite steeply and my Clips for Sale income is drifting down. So whether that's something to do with the platforms or whether that's something to do with me, I don't know. But it's one of the reasons I feel like spreading your risk is a really good idea, because if I only sold on Clips for Sale, I'd be scared now because month by month it's making less money. And I don't care at all because I've got another platform that's doing the opposite, and OnlyFans is staying kind of stable at the moment. I'm definitely a big proponent of spreading your risk by selling on multiple platforms or having multiple income streams. Okay, so that's all of my OnlyFans work done for the day. I don't need to do anything else except for promote it, which I'll do this afternoon. Just sending the first video off to the customer. All that's left to do, because my product is going up for sale in all the places I want it to be, is I just have to market everything. So I've got a rule that there are basically 4 things I want people to know about me professionally, and they are that I've got an OnlyFans account you can join, that you can book me for custom videos, you can buy my videos on Clips for Sale, and you can buy my videos on ManyVids. Now, once COVID stops being so much of an issue for modelling, I'll want to remind people I'm also available for modelling. At the moment, the rule is that I've made for myself. I just have to do something that markets each of those things every day. I've just tweeted about the updates that will be appearing on my OnlyFans this weekend. There are 6 of them, so I've just described them briefly. I always try to have a promotion going on one of my platforms at any one time. So this month on many vids, if you buy one of my videos and leave a 5-star review, you get a 50% off code for the rest of the month. Clips for Sale isn't a very flexible platform, so there's no option to do anything like that, so I just remind people it exists. And then I always try to do something that's personal as well. If I feel like I haven't and I've just been sort of selling at people, I try to balance it out by just posting something that's funny or that's just like a nice, free, sexy 5-second video or something like that, just to remind people and to remind myself that I don't just create stuff that's for sale. This is quite a relentless schedule that I've made for myself, and it is very commercial, you know. A lot of the stuff I'm doing in a day I'm selling. There isn't anything wrong with that. That's what most people do at work all day. But I think those of us in the adult industry in one way or another are quite sensitive to the accusation that, oh, all you care about is money. I don't know why we should feel guilty about it, but I do worry about it. So there are 2 things I do to make sure that I don't end up feeling like I'm just selling every part of my life and that I'm not doing anything just out of the love of it. So I always give myself one thing I can do each month that isn't directly profitable at all. So like appearing on a podcast or doing something that I don't get paid for and that might be good for me professionally in some way, but it might not be particularly obvious how. I try to do something that is for free for people to watch and that will be helpful to either photographers or models or both, but anyone who's kind of come into the industry more recently than me. I also, every single week, I make time in my schedule so that I shoot one thing that is not a custom, that it's just my idea. And so I sell it the same as I sell everything else, but it just feels important for me to remind myself of the things I'm into, because I'm expressing other people's sexual tastes a lot, and I just want to remind myself of what my sexual tastes are and make sure that I create work that reflects me, not just my clients, because there is lots of creativity and fun involved in shooting stuff for my customers, but I want to do some stuff that's just mine. And it's great then if it sells, it makes me feel really good because it was my idea. And I try to write something every month that will be free to read. So in the last 4 months, I've had 2 things published and another thing's about to be published, and I do that to just try to exercise my brain in a different direction, because I feel like my job is physically demanding and it is mentally demanding, but I want to keep stretching myself so I don't ossify and become incapable of doing anything other than the routine that I'm doing now. Because having been able to pivot my business through COVID, it made me realise how important it is to be able to stay somewhat flexible. So now I've come to the part of the day, another part of the day that I really love. Hello! I'm on one of my walks. All the time I was touring modelling before COVID, I couldn't really get much exercise. You can work out in a hotel room, but I never figured out a way to get any kind of meaningful level of cardio. And often, honestly, I was just too tired because the working for 8 hours, driving for maybe 2 or 3, every day, it doesn't leave you much time to look after yourself. So actually, it's been really interesting this year to realise I can work slightly fewer hours because I don't have any commuting, and I can walk every day. I wasn't going to say this, but I suddenly thought I should. That, you know, I really controlled my weight through my whole career just by eating really miserable stuff on the road, not on the actual road. So I basically lived off dried noodles and bananas and instant porridge, and it was fine, but that's how I kept my figure, just by basically not really eating enough calories when I was on tour. I have put on half a stone in the year of being home, basically because I can eat nice things and I never have a noodle snack for dinner. But the reason it's only been half a stone rather than more is because I've been able to exercise every day. I've realised if I do it, I always feel better and more awake. I'm really lucky. I live in a really beautiful part of the country. I know from talking to other people that to some of you, my working pattern would be far too rigid and you'd find it really stressful. And I totally agree. It might not be the right thing for you. It might not be the right thing for me. So I don't want anyone to watch it and feel like, oh God, that's how I have to do things. You don't. I've got friends who do things in a much more intuitive manner, that they work hard if they feel like it, and they take time off if they feel like it, or they only ever work half days. So there are loads of ways to do this. This is just the way that I found to increase my productivity over the last year. So I wanted to record it partly for myself, but hopefully in case it just gives you some ideas that you're not already doing. I think the single thing that's been most helpful to me out of all of it is probably preparing stuff the day before. I'm also aware that, I might look back at this in a year's time and go, well, you sound as though you're on your way to a nervous breakdown. And I'm aware that for people like me who are quite competitive with themselves, that is a bit of a risk, to just keep pushing yourself a little bit further. Although I recognise that is definitely a risk. I think the happiness that comes from it for me gives me the instinct that I'm doing stuff the right way for myself.
I'm back from my walk, and the only job I have left today to do is to start editing my YouTube video. I don't know if the way that I work will have been illuminating or useful to anyone. I really hope so. For my strategy, which obviously would not be right for everyone, it's very simple. It's just self-discipline. It's not allowing yourself to stop work for the day until you've got the amount of content that you are satisfied with, and it is not allowing yourself to get later and later in the morning, or finish earlier and earlier in the afternoon, or to get less and less done, or to watch more and more TV. It's not any more sophisticated than that. I've figured out ways to chart my progress, basically, which keeps me motivated, and that is how I'm making now far more money than I ever expected to make, and I really hope that other people can do the same. And I'd just like to say one more thing, that if you do find yourself making a lot more money than you expected, none of it really means very much, I don't think, if you don't manage to save it, because this might be the best financial year I've ever had, and I don't want to just look back and think, oh God, that was such a good year, I wish it carried on. I want to be able to look back and see that through earning well this year, particularly, I have made my future easier. So if you find yourself on an upward trajectory, you should consider very seriously how you're going to invest it. So I have an investment strategy that works for me so far really well, which is rental property. That's not for everyone, but you really need to find something. I wouldn't want you to look back if you find yourself in this sort of situation and realise that you kind of squandered the money you made through your own hard work, and that's what I'm really trying to do, so that your future will hopefully be financially easier. So I hope you found that helpful. As always, please comment below. I try to reply to all comments. If you are a model with any concerns or worries or need advice, do get in contact. I reply to everything. All the very, very best as always. I have been Ariel Anderson, and this is my Twilight Years.